Hello everybody and welcome back to Toadstool Tarot, or if you haven't been here before, welcome. If you like the video, click the like button and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell. I'm bringing you today a deck that many of you have already seen. If you haven't seen it, you've probably been living under a rock because it's been around for some time now. It's the Nicoletta Ceccoli Tarot. Now, a little bit of an intro. Before this tarot came out, some years ago, many years ago, I worked at a bookstore and I used to process books as they came across my desk and scan the covers, and before that, review them for our mail order catalog. At one point, a book came across my desk, a children's book called A Dignity of Dragons, Collective Nouns for Magical Beasts by Jacqueline K. Ogburn, illustrated by Nicoletta Ceccoli. This was my first introduction to Nicoletta Ceccoli, and when I fell in love with her illustration style. This book is still in print. It is from Houghton Mifflin, and it came out in 2010. I'm going to show you a handful of the illustrations in here to give you a sense of her style. Here are some of her, how can we do this? Here are some of her dragons. Here she has griffins and sphinxes. Here she has seahorses and mermaids. Here is a centaur and some fawns. Here are some unicorns. And some little mini rainbow unicorns. Here are some gorgons. And sirens. The book includes all manner of unusual beasts, from abominable snowman to centaurs, chimeras, dragons, fawns, firebirds, gorgons, griffins, harpies, hippogriffs, kraken, manticores, mermaids, minotaurs, quetzalcoatls, rocks, seahorses, sea monsters, sea serpents, sirens, sphinx, thunderbirds, unicorns, werewolves, yetis, and much more. And anyway, that's where I first saw her work and fell in love with it. Then along came this tarot of hers. Let's see, when did this come out? Is there a date? Oh, about 4 years later, 2014. That's the box, the front, and the back. These are the backs of the cards, reversible if you do reversals. I don't. And we'll just do a walkthrough. The Fool. Now, I've waited until now to do a walkthrough because while I love the images in this deck, I haven't found them easy to work with as a tarot. That's just me. Intuitively, I have trouble with them. But they are beautiful images, and even if you have trouble with them as a tarot, it's worth having simply as a collectible art deck. They are odd illustrations, colorful, whimsical. There's been some criticism of them. Some people find them creepy. Some find them melancholy and forlorn, no happy faces. Some criticize them as, potential child abuse or whatever. Now, I don't, and others in defense of that say these are not little girls or children but dolls. I don't see that. However, what I do see is this is the dream world. In dreams, we can have nightmares, we can be children, we can be in bizarre situations. So this might be a really good deck for dream work or shadow work. I'm still discovering what shadow work is exactly, but only you can decide if this deck works for you. This is a Lo Scarabeo deck, and the cardstock is pretty good. It's semi-glossy, and it came along at a time where I guess they were not as often using the 6 languages on the borders and had replaced them with numbers and symbols. So this is the major arcana we're in now with the Roman numerals. And you can see there's a little bit of a glare on there because of the gloss. Shortly after this deck came out, she came out with an oracle deck, which is, I didn't get initially because I thought it was going to just recycle the images. I saw through other walkthroughs that it has different images, and some of these I like better, some of the others I like better. The backs on those are gorgeous. The card size is larger, and I tend personally not to like big cards. I like them to be manageable. Tarot size, playing card size, or smaller. Not the mini ones either, but not the oversized. So I like that sort of Goldilocks place where they're not too large, not too small, just right. Not too cold, not too hot, just right. I've seen other decks that are a little too cutesy. This isn't quite cutesy, it has some of that to it. But there is a dramatic quality to these, and a fantasy element that is of a less than rainbows and unicorns cheeriness. You can see here, these are the wands. You see the wand at the top and the numbers at the bottom. I like it when they don't have labels. There are very few decks that don't have any labeling at all. The symbols and numbers, I think, are preferable to something spelled out or written out. I tend to read intuitively, so I work from the images, but somehow I just haven't quite gotten there with these. And I tend to, when I see these images, to zoom right in on those symbols and numbers and translate in my head from the RWS system, which sometimes feels at odds to me with these images. Now, I don't want to be too much the naysayer on this deck. You may love this deck and find that it works very well for you. But this is one of the reasons that I held off doing a walkthrough of this. I've had it since before I started my channel, and it's a beautiful deck, but it's not really a favorite. I'm getting now down to where I only have maybe 3 decks left in my collection that I haven't reviewed yet. And there are always new ones on the way, but after my September overindulgence, I am cutting back, and I am caught up with most. I have, I think, 2 or 3 on the way that should be here before the end of October or in November, hopefully. And who knows, maybe something else that catches my eye will come along by then. I'd love to read, if you already have this deck, in your comments below, what you make of it, and has it worked for you? I haven't pulled this deck out and looked at the images in a while, and it is kind of fun to see them again after a brief vacation away from them. Six of Swords. That's a different take on it. She could be sleeping or resting, but it looks like a funeral passage. Eight of Swords. I can see that now. Actually, the longer I'm familiarizing myself with the RWS system, the more some of these make sense to me now. So maybe I'll give it another try. A lot of these remind me of Alice in Wonderland. And people that criticize the bizarre nature of the activities of the little girls in this deck, I might question how you feel about Alice in Wonderland or Alice's Adventures Underground, which were over a century ago, and dealt with some similar strange, surrealistic, and adult situations. And there you have it. Nicoletta Ceccoli Tarot and A Dignity of Dragons. She probably has more stuff out by now. I remember going to see an art show of hers in Soho some years ago. And at the time I didn't buy the book. There was a very large, oversized, and very thick hardcover book. I think they wanted $75 for. And at the time, I just didn't have that kind of money and couldn't justify the spending. If I had it to do again now, I probably would have bought it. But don't know if it's still available. It probably is going for massive amounts now, if it's even available. Anyway, that's the Nicoletta Ceccoli deck, and if you don't have it, maybe you want to check it out, and if you do have it, let me know what you think. You might also want to check out some other people's reviews of it, like The Hermit's Cave. I can't think at the moment who else. Many other people have done it, but that's a good place to start. My camera work is not the best, and Simon over there at Hermit's Cave does incredible overhead shots in much finer detail. Until I have a better setup here, you're stuck with what I can bring you. But thank you for joining me, and I will see you again soon, hopefully. Bye.